Our dear friend Cliff Maloney lost one of his best friends last week, 1 week ago today. And I'm very glad to have him join us right now. Welcome back to the show. Glad you're here today on this, what is now a very gloomy Wednesday. Cliff, I'm very sorry for your loss. I know Charlie was one of your best friends. I'm grateful you made time today to call into the show. Founder, of course, of PA Chase. You guys worked very hard to win Pennsylvania together. So thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you having me, Rich, as always.
I know you're going out to Arizona on Friday. Looks like it's going to be a very powerful and impactful event in Charlie's memory. Can you tell us a little about it?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's been a horrific week. I always like to start by, not trying to be positive and jump past it. I mean, that's typically how I grieve as a Delco kid, try to find some joke or laugh about something. It's a wild time in America. For all of us, I'll take you back. I mean, I was actually in Florida when it happened. I was with a couple people from Turning Point, and the first news came in that, hey, Charlie's been shot. And your mind just races. You're like, okay, well, did they hit him in the foot? Where did they hit him? Is he alive? Is he not? And the next 30 minutes were probably the most gruesome 30 minutes of my life, where you start to see the video. And then you see the video and you're searching for, well, is there any chance that he's still alive? What reports are out there? It was just gut wrenching for so many of us that knew him, that worked with him, that appreciated him, that called him a mentor. And so this event in Arizona on Sunday, you're going to have President Trump there, J.D. Vance, a bunch of the cabinet members. Erica will obviously be there to speak. But, Rich, I love Charlie Kirk. He's a great man. One of the things I tell everybody is he believed what he said, and he said what he believed. And it's wild to think that because of him being such a great messenger and this radical lunatic not being able to beat him when it comes to the battle of ideas, it's a sad day in America when he decides that taking a bullet to take him out is the way to go. There's just no words.
Yeah, man, I was on the air. I was getting ready to do the show when the news came, and then I saw the video. I mean, it was one of the hardest shows I've ever had to do, and I didn't know Charlie particularly well. Certainly not like you knew him. He was on the show a few times over the years. I had tremendous respect for him, but I mean, for people like yourself who were in the trenches with him personally, I mean, the shock, the trauma. I'm really sorry. I just never imagined, something like this could happen. You just don't, and people may not realize this, but you knew this about him. He had a great sense of humor as a Delco guy. And you talk about the importance of humor and, gallows humor is a lot. He had a great sense of humor. Like when South Park did the whole thing about him, he thought it was hysterical. And I don't know if a lot of people ever really saw that side of Charlie, because they always saw the serious side of him engaging with people on college campuses. But I was very impressed by his sense of humor.
Yeah, he had a heart of gold. And he's very quick, quippy, if you will, just always wanting to spit back at somebody or to shoot back at somebody. I mean, if you watch, a lot of the best or the top 10s or the best 5 interactions of Charlie Kirk, mostly all of them are one-liners, right? They're not going after people for, personal attacks, but they're one-liners, just kind of, making jokes and calling people out for their hypocrisy. The other thing I've been doing, Rich, as I think back to a lot of my favorite memories with Charlie, but the number one memory, on election night, I got to do his show, and he had called me that morning after I did Bannon, and he saw me on the network, and he called me and said, hey, he said, do you want to come on the live stream? It's going to be a long, long time, but if North Carolina and Georgia come in, then PA will be the state that puts us over the top. And, we've partnered with you. You've run this PA Chase program. You've knocked 510,000 doors. I want you to be with me to analyze Pennsylvania so we can kind of see where the projection is. And my favorite memory of all time, most people have seen this clip. You've seen it. It's been shared, hundreds of millions of times now, is when PA is called and I come on to call it, Charlie breaks down in tears. And he's smiling, but he's crying. It's all the emotion hitting him. Erica walks onto the set, puts her arms around him, and we just, we talk through it. Remember this moment. Remember where you were when the establishment said that it wasn't possible. Remember that you told me to come back to Pennsylvania, my home state, because this would deliver the White House. Charlie could see into the future, but that moment is probably the one I think about the most. And when I was on the show, Jack Posobiec actually yesterday or 2 days ago, he mentioned to me, he said, Cliff, remember Charlie said, it's all God from that spot. And what was fascinating was he said, Cliff, you do realize that that's the exact spot that Erica Kirk gave her address to the nation, was in that same exact spot that Charlie said, it's all God, where we called the election. And I'm never coming on your show to preach, Rich, you know that. But that was a pretty spiritual moment for me to think about that, to think about the importance of that moment, and then have Erica come out to the nation and just double down and set the tone that we are just getting started. Pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And look, you can preach away, brother. You've earned the right to do so. And I think we all need a little bit of spiritual uplifting, these days. And in the spirit of how hard you worked, we have races ahead of us in PA. We have races ahead of us in New Jersey, and we can't take our foot off the gas because we still got to get out there and win. I mean, I like to look on the positive side of things like you, and I try to think of, well, what good can come out of something as horrific as this? And I think you have a lot of people now who may have sat the 2025 election out because Trump's not on the ballot and it's not midterms, and they might have been like, who cares? Judges in PA, governor's race in New Jersey, the state assembly, like, who cares? I think now people are going to come out because of what happened. And if that's some good that comes out of this, that will be, at least we can take some solace in that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I keep saying the words for Charlie, right? FOR, for Charlie. I think there's a lot of things that are going to motivate people to do things for Charlie, for him going through this, for him losing his life. And yes, I mean, I don't want to always think politics, but you're 100% correct. This is going to motivate a lot of people that if they can take out an innocent 31-year-old kid who's trying to just express ideas, and to see the vile hatred from people online celebrating the death. I mean, if that doesn't get you motivated enough, I don't know what will. And look, Rich, I'm committed to Charlie's vision. He always said to me, said to everybody, do the work. If you truly believe in the cause, that is the call to action. Do the work. So I've said this on your show before. The PA Chase is not a every 4-year thing. Right. It's not every other year. We are on the ground right now. We've been in PA since August 4th. We've got 118 people across the Commonwealth knocking on doors to chase requests, to chase ballots. And we're going to do that through the election. The other great thing for your audience, because I know you've got some of the Garden State folks that tune in, a large portion of your show, we're helping Jack Ciattarelli out.
Good.
We've got a pack over there that, we've kind of pushed a lot of our people to. We have the plan. We have the infrastructure. We're taking the PA Chase playbook, and we're going to knock 500,000 doors for Jack to try to put him over the top in a very difficult governor's race. But we can't sit out. And so we know the tactics that we have. We're using them wherever we can find resources to try to get people to step up, for Patriots to win. And that's what this is about. Do the work. We will continue forward.
Cliff Maloney, PA Chase, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I just thought of this. And, we're putting together this rally in New Jersey on October 10th in Wildwood, where President Trump came, do a huge rally there. If your schedule allows, I'd love for you to be part of it. I'd love for you to be one of the speakers that night. Jack Ciattarelli is coming. I'm going to be speaking, and we want to get, a few thousand people out to that event to try to recapture that sense, because Wildwood was obviously the turning point in, I think, in a lot of ways, it was the biggest rally ever for Trump, and certainly, New Jersey, 110,000 people came out, and we're not expecting those kind of numbers, but we want to have a big presence there. So I'll send you the details, and it'd be an honor if we could have you for that, certainly. And I think the other thing too is that for a lot of people listening, they may not realize why these elections for judge matter, but they do matter, because a lot of the cases, a lot of things we're going to be dealing with going forward, I think a lot of this is going to be around things like freedom of speech and freedom of religion that Charlie fought for. We got to make sure we have solid judges in there for when these cases get heard.
Yeah, I completely agree. And look, it's not just top of the ticket. You look in PA, you've got school board races. In certain counties, countywide races. We've got a Superior and we've got a Commonwealth Court judge race. So it's the retentions, yes, but it's everything down ballot. And Rich, one of the things I'm doing right now that people think is, a little odd, we're targeting the 3 to 4 congressional districts in Pennsylvania that are going to be battlegrounds next year. Now, you might say, hold on, we're not on the ballot this year. It doesn't matter. It's called developing habit. It's permanent infrastructure. I didn't create this playbook. The Democrats did. There's a reason they have had 105 full-time staff in the state of PA since January. They understand that you have to continuously get people comfortable with requesting a mail-in ballot and then getting it in. So our whole focus is developing habit with Republicans who they're not going to vote on election day. But you get them a ballot sent to their house, they're going to become regular voters. That's how we play the Democrat playbook, fight fire with fire, beat them at their own game. And the best part to all this, for everybody out there listening, if we make PA a red wall, they cannot win on the Democrat side. There's no path to victory. That is my objective over the next 4 years, is to make it so that in 2028, the Dems have no path to the White House because Pennsylvania denied them the math.
And if there's anybody who can do it, Cliff Maloney, it's you. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Over 510,000 doors knocked on is amazing. So I have no doubts you can do it. And you're right, because we said this all along. And that's why that moment when you were with Charlie that night on election night, we knew we won PA, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, whatever it was. It's like time kind of stopped that night. But we knew it was over because we always said whoever wins PA wins the White House. Same's going to hold true in 2028. Exact same thing. So yeah, if we can do this, if we can accomplish this, then it's a red wall that they cannot overcome, and then we become like Florida. You know what I mean? We stop being a swing state once and for all, and we become a red state. And that we should be, but damn it, we should be. I mean, considering that the battle for the future of natural gas and energy and jobs and manufacturing and everything is playing out right here. There's no excuse for the Democrats to be able to maintain power in this state.
Yeah, I completely agree. And look, Josh Shapiro, he's chomping at the bit, obviously, to run for president in 2028. And, I'm rooting for Stacey Garrity, our one declared candidate who's out there. It's just going to be, I tell people, listen, my biggest fear is Shapiro's on the ballot in 28. Now, the radicals in the donor class and the radicals in the activist class on the Democrat side, they're going to hate him. He's a Jewish man, and, there's going to be a whole battle there. But if he gets through, if some of the rational people push him through, he's going to be a very tough opponent to beat. Josh Shapiro campaigns as a moderate. He's a prolific fundraiser. He's a great orator, Obama-style guy who can communicate, and he governs as a commie. Okay, Americans should be afraid of this guy, and I'm just trying to sound the alarm bells now because we know him in Pennsylvania. And so Stacey Garrity and everybody else in 2026, we've got to do the work, not just to knock him off, but to save the country in 28, because right now he is the most electable Democrat when it comes to them having a nominee in 2028. I want to completely destroy his political career peacefully, of course, peacefully. But I want to kind of show the world that Pennsylvania is where, political campaigns and political lives, you got to be able to stand up to the test. And we beat him. He's completely gone from the national stage.
I think, too, everything you said is spot on. And the fact that Josh Shapiro is trying to equate what happened to his mansion to political violence and leaving out the part that the guy was a leftist who was a free Palestine kook is really, really disingenuous because
it's
right.
It's rich. It's very rich. He knows how to pull things. And listen, me, the Pennsylvania guy, even watching him, I'm like, man, he has a point. I had to even recalibrate. Wait a second. That was a leftist. What is he talking about? But they know how to frame it. You saw it. Who was it? Jimmy Kimmel, during his monologue says that this guy that assassinated Charlie was some sort of MAGA patriot and nobody fact checks him. They're so deranged because they have to find a narrative. Here's the narrative. Stop saying that everybody on the right is Hitler and everyone that elected Trump is Hitler and a fascist and a bigot. Because when you say those things, people think they're obviously bad people that deserve to be taken out. We don't deserve to be taken out. You, Rich Zeoli, do not deserve to be taken out. The people on the right that have honest opinions should not have to fear from all of this just mongering from the left that we're monsters. But, Rich, they have no message. They have no leader. They have no solutions. All they have is Trump is the devil. And until they switch that and come up with some solutions, of course, we're going to be in danger because they're telling their people that we are the end to democracy. That's what has to change.
Yeah, man, you're spot on. Yeah, and yesterday you had Krasner calling us Hitler again and fascists and lying and saying we don't want black and brown people to vote. We don't believe in women's equality. And does Josh Shapiro call him out? No, he does not. He does not call him out. Does he call out that local official in Ambler who said that she hopes that this happens to more people? No, he doesn't call her out. Does he call out State Senator Anthony Williams for blasting Trump for lowering the flag half-mast and saying Charlie Kirk was a racist? No, he does not. The problem is within the Democrat Party, and this is what I keep saying, and I know you keep saying it too, Cliff Maloney. It's not both sides, it's their side. They have allowed extremists into their ranks. And until they stop, and the people who are elected stop using the F-word fascist, because look, man, if I could go back in time and kill Hitler, I sure as hell would. And that's the problem, is that you're sending a message to these people, hey, do the right thing for the world and save democracy by taking out these people who are spreading the kind of hatred that he spread back in the 1930s before it's too late. That's literally the message that they're sending. And so people that are unhinged hear that and think, I'm on the side of right. It is so dangerous. It's beyond heated political rhetoric. It's downright dangerous. There's just no other way to put it.
Yeah, and look, I think that the Charlie assassination brought about two realities. One, we are in a spiritual battle. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what. This is good versus bad. And I think nothing could be more clear than watching that horrific video and people realizing it is good versus bad. What side are you going to be on? It's not left versus right, right versus left, Democrat versus Republican. They killed a man because he wanted to have a conversation. That's the first thing. The spiritual battle is here. And I think everybody's realizing that. The second thing is the reaction. The reaction from so many people celebrating. And I know I said it earlier, but Rich, the people that are not political, the people that are trying to pay their mortgage, put food on the table, take their kids to baseball practice in Montgomery County, those people woke up to see that video. And the little talking points or the stereotyping of Charlie as some evil person, this forced a lot of people to actually go and listen to Charlie, to hear his message, to see his actions. And the left is not ready for how much this is going to backfire, because when normal people hear Charlie talk, he's a normal guy. He's saying rational things. He's not calling for some race war. He's not some homophobe or some bigot. He's a normal Christian guy just talking about peace and how do we bring people together? How do we have mutual understanding? How do we have conversation? Because when people start talking, that's when violence ensues. So those are my two big takeaways. One, we've got a clear spiritual battle of good versus evil. And two, normal people saw the reactions and thought, my gosh, how could people be cheering for this man? And when they look into him, his message is only amplified.
Before I let you go, let's leave on a positive note as you remember Charlie. This is his reaction to the South Park episode where they used basically Cartman as Charlie Kirk. And this is his reaction to it. This is cut number 27 from the Turning Point USA Instagram page, cut 27.
So let me ask you this. What is your definition of a woman?
Yeah. Putting down the mic in between the question, that is pure art, South Park.
What is my what? What is a woman? It's a very simple question.
Well, a woman is a lady friend who, gives you kisses.
You see, you can't answer the question, but something is male or it is female. Both sides in Scripture agree to that, and that's just the truth. Next.
Another host to do totally destroyed.
Oh, jeez.
I think the whole thing is just awesome and hilarious. There's so much more I want to say about this, but the whole shtick, by the way, Comedy Central, South Park, you crushed the water. I compulsively drink water on campus. It's like, okay, boom, we got to stay hydrated. Now, the lozenges, we got to work a little. And by the way, the Holy Bible right next to it. I even said on this campus tour I was going to bring a Holy Bible with me to every single campus stop.
Cliff, it's, sounds like a pretty regular guy to me,
Yeah, and I'll end with this, Rich. Andrew Colvett, who is Charlie's business partner, a great friend of Charlie's, done a lot of work with him over the years, produced the Charlie Kirk Show. He put out a tweet a little while ago. He said, hey, Paramount, Charlie loved South Park. Keep it up. They pulled it down, and I'm doubling down on what Andrew said, to Paramount. Put it back up. Charlie believed in free speech. He believed in a good joke. He believed in good humor. And they're so right. I mean, all his little, just the mannerisms that they got right. I think it'd be great if they put it back up. But I appreciate you sharing that, Rich. Appreciate you having me as always. And rest in peace to Charlie Kirk.
God bless, brother. Thank you, Cliff Maloney. We appreciate it, man. Keep up the great work. Thank you.